Hello, I'm Sharnique, and today I'm going to show you something else that I made, which, if you couldn't already tell, is this hoodie. I call it Frankenhoodie because it's basically made out of 6 different fleeces. See the back and the hood, 6 different fleeces. Now, I I don't know why, but I guess I use a lot of fleece in general. It's not always the easiest thing to work with because it can get kind of bulky, but I love how soft it is and I love being so cozy. So I ended up having leftover fleece from several different fleece projects that I did, mostly hoodies, but I think this one was a jacket for outside. This, as you can see, this is a sloth fabric, but the sloths are upside down, and I had to do that because the way the remnant of this was shaped, it didn't allow for the fleece to be right side up, but whatevs. That's what it is. And this is the pattern here. McCall 7061. And it's actually kind of a combination between A and C, if you can tell, because A has the hood that I like, and C just kind of have like a shawl collar-ish look to it. But I like that shaped hem that C has rather than that banded hem from A. I just think that's kind of a feminine touch to make a shaped hem like that. So that's why I like that. But I definitely like hoods because, I don't know, they're just so cozy. But I decided to share this one, even though I thought it was a little crazy at first, because I posted it on my social media, and I feel like the responses I got were just really positive. Not that I expected anyone to say anything negative about it, because mostly my family members and friends, but people were saying stuff like, oh, I would actually buy something like that, and I did not expect that. Basically, I just thought that it was a weird hoodie that I was gonna wear indoors only. But I don't know, that those positive comments kind of gave me a little bit of confidence to make the video, but also to possibly wear this outside. Maybe one day I'll wear it outside, who knows. The one thing I wish though was that the hood had a drawstring, but as you can see, instead of being kind of flat right here and then attached, it has like an overlapping detail right here in the neckline. So I'm like, where would I put the drawstring? Like, should I put it down here at the base, but then one string would be inside, or should I put it like right here, and then I'd have this like air gap? I don't know. I just kind of like cinching it around my head sometimes just for coziness. Not that I'm cold or anything. I mean, I do live in New York and it does get cold in the wintertime, but not that cold indoors. I just like the coziness. Anyway, that's the one thing I thought about adding in the future, and I would just do that by making a buttonhole inside the facing and then just threading it through this the facing of the hood. But I don't know, maybe in the future, maybe one day. Also, what color string would I use for this multicolored Franken hoodie? I don't know. So the only other thing I'd say about this is that the hood is ginormous. Like, let me turn it sideways so you can see. This is how big the hood is, how full it is. And I don't know what they thought women's heads or hair looked like, but that's a giant hood, and I didn't bother adjusting it in case I had a particularly voluminous hairstyle myself. But I do feel like this, I feel like is a kind of a thin fleece, but I kind of feel like this, if it was a thicker, heavier, like a luxe fleece type, I do sometimes feel that it is heavy enough that it kind of weighs the garment down and kind of tugs it, and then you start feeling this at your neck and you're like, come on, I gotta go. So I tend to try to like lay it like this so that it doesn't pull everything backward. So I think a smaller hood would be good for that reason. But other than that, I'm all set. I like this. This is probably the second garment like this I've made for myself. The first one was a banded, but it was long, like knee length, almost as a dress, so it's even cozier. But I don't know, I wonder if you like it. It is very different, something that you don't see. Oh, and pattern blocking and color blocking, I feel like have been trending, so I'll call this my attempt at pattern blocking by using 6 different types of fleece. Because, I mean, otherwise, what was I going to do with all those leftover pieces of fleece? They were, like, big enough that I was like, oh, I can make something out of this. But not so big that I can make a whole garment out of it. And I considered making hats, mittens, slippers. But I was just like, eh. Not that I don't like those things, but I don't know. I kind of find making smaller things to be a bit tedious and kind of fussy because you got to make stitches in much smaller places. So I was just like, I ain't doing that. I'm making a hoodie, or, you know, Frankenhoodie, as I've mentioned. Making Frankenhoodie, calling it a day or a night in case I sleep in this. But anyway, I don't know. Thank you to everybody on my social media who said something positive about it, because I feel, you know, kind of confident about it now. Hope y'all like it too.